Hi, didn't see you there. Today we're talking about a kind of movie. Not just a regular kind of movie, we're talking about big and epic movies, documentaries of course. In today's class, I'm talking 20 minutes about the feature-length documentary Playing by Eduardo Coutinho. I'll talk again because I had an accent. I'm talking about Playing by Eduardo Coutinho, a Brazilian director killed by his own son. That's true, but that's not a good thing to say right now. But shit happens. The movie is from 2007, but it was shot in 2006. It starts with a newspaper ad inviting women to share their lives. What the fuck was it? To share their personal lives with the director for a documentary movie. 23 out of 83 women were selected to be part of the documentary. They told Eduardo Coutinho about their lives while being recorded. After that, they scripted all the conversations and they gave it the tape and the scripts to professional actresses. A few months later, they shot the actresses playing the same stories in the same theater. The documentary starts without telling anything. It starts with a newspaper ad and then goes straight to that story. And okay, you're like, okay, that's a story. That's a person telling life stories. And you're like, oh nice, that's a nice story. It's like a heartwarming story. So like you follow this. After a couple of stories, you see the same story being told again. And you're like, wow, so was that real? Like who's the real person telling the story? And after a couple of stories, you see one famous Brazilian actress. And you're like, okay, so she's an actress. Okay, so she is faking. But after a couple of stories, you don't know if her story is real or not. And that's the whole point about the movie. You don't really know the barriers between acting in real life. Some people, after telling their stories or acting them, they comment about the storytelling. And it's funny because some actresses, they just can't play it because they say, it's not my story. Some other actresses, they say, it's funny because this is a really sad story and she doesn't cry. I am crying because I'm an actress. I need to show that I'm crying. But the real person doesn't cry. And that's really interesting because the director is playing with us, is playing with the editing, is playing with what is acting. So what is acting? What is life? What is documentary? What is reality? Eduardo Coutinho was a Brazilian director. He was one of the most famous documentary directors. He was one of the most famous Brazilian documentary directors. He directed 13 documentaries, 8 short documentaries, and 3 movies. He won more than 30 international prizes, and he was part of the American Academy of Motion Picture and Science. His most famous documentary is 20 Years Later, Cabra Marcado para Morrer in Portuguese. The movie was shot in 1964, but it was interrupted by the Brazilian military dictatorship. And then, 20 years later, after the dictatorship was gone, he got the files from that documentary and he did another documentary talking about the behind the scenes. The documentary is a meta-linguistical documentary and it's really interesting to see how people change throughout time. And I think that's one of the things that he took forward in his work. Other movie that he did was Master Building, Edifício Master. And it's about people in a building. He got permission to shoot in any room that he wanted. He got in and he shot stories. He asked like, how's your life? How is living here? People told him and how life was going. And it's really interesting to see a whole feature-length movie about stories and about people being people. And the narrative climax is a guy singing My Way by Frank Sinatra. And it's really interesting to see how people are small universes. And that's one of the things that he also took forward from his work. Playing is kind of a mix of both ideas. He took the best of meta-linguistical documentary and his will to tell simple life stories.
Onde é que você mora?
Bom,
Eu moro no Rio e a minha filha tá lá em Petrópolis e a gente se vê de 15 em 15 dias, né?
E a relação com tua filha, como é que... quando você viu e tal?
Ah, olha, a minha filha, ela é minha vida, sabe? Olha, tudo que eu tenho, e eu não tenho muita coisa, sabe? Tudo que eu tenho, ela sabe que eu trabalho pra ela, entendeu? E a patroa que disse que ia me ajudar e tal, né? E que acabou indo embora, e eu acabei indo trabalhar em outro lugar, né? Fui tomar conta de uma dona doente, né? E ela sempre dizia: Ah, Nilza, traz sua filha pra cá, que eu ajudo você a cuidar dela, né? E eu falava: Não, mas não, né? Eu não vou fazer isso porque você precisa de mim. Como é que você vai cuidar dela? Ela falou: Não, traz sua filha pra cá, que eu te ajudo a cuidar dela, né? E eles cuidam da minha filha até hoje, né? Desde os 8 meses de idade, né? Eu sei que eu me amo tanto, eu me adoro tanto que eu já nem esquento mais com essa coisa de amor, entendeu? Eu sei que eu me adoro tanto que antes de qualquer coisa eu vou me ver, entendeu? Eu acordo, poxa, hoje eu acordei, tava aquele tempo meio assim. Aí eu olhei e falei, poxa, São Pedro, eu queria ir bem pra filmagem, eu queria ir bem extravagante. Não dá pro senhor mudar esse tempo? São Pedro não mandou o sol pra mim? Entendeu? Então acho que é isso, acho que é você se olhar, você agradecer a Deus, você olhar pro céu, sabe? Porque tem gente que passa o dia inteiro na rua. Não, eu tenho mania de perguntar para as pessoas, já olhou pro céu hoje? Não, eu não acredito. Não, porque tem gente que passa o dia inteiro na rua e não olha pro céu, entendeu? Foi isso que ela disse.
And it's like, because like you're thinking that that's her story. And at the end of the day, she was an actress playing that story. And you're like, after that, you're like, oh, I need to see the real person, but you don't see it. You don't see the real person in that story. You just see that story. Because that story is amazing. And because the way the actress played it was amazing. And that I have goosebumps now, you know. And I'm not kidding, it was really goosebumps. There's one story that the girl is talking about, like when she lost her son, and she's talking easily about that. She's not being emotional at all. She's just like talking like, yeah, she's not being cold though. She's being just human.
Namorei ele 2 anos e fiquei casada com ele 6.
Agora por quê?
Porque eu sentia que eu já não estava presa ao casamento. Eu queria mais, eu queria estudar, né, começar a faculdade. E eu já tinha interesse em outras pessoas. Quer dizer, eu saí um pouco do foco, né, do casamento.
Então eu saí um pouco do foco do casamento. Aí eu achei que não seria legal, porque tanto ele como eu, na época, a gente era muito jovem. E aí eu já estava com aquela sensação, assim, eu achava interessante sair na rua e alguém me paquerar. Aí achei que não seria legal, porque poderia, de repente, trair, ou em pensamentos, ou de repente poderia realmente acontecer. Nós dois nos ajudamos muito.
E dois?
Nós dois, eu falo eu e meu filho. Porque, para mim, ele ainda está vivo. Ele está em algum lugar. E... Desculpe. Eu tenho hoje um namorado que... Nossa, ele é muito meu amigo. Ele é muito bacana comigo. E, nossa, eu nem me lembro de ter tido um namorado parecido com esse. E ele é muito meu amigo, muito parceiro mesmo. Ele quer ter filhos, né? Ele não tem filhos e quer ter, ele quer ter 3. Eu já consegui diminuir para 2.
E o que você sentiu? Você preparou, você fez agora E a primeira pergunta que eu faço assim...
Eu não preparei choro nenhum, porque eu não queria chorar. Eu não queria, até porque eu queria imitá-la, mas é porque eu não aguento. Não, eu não sei o que eu senti, não. Não, eu tentei falar o texto da maneira mais fiel que eu pude, sem agredir, sem criticar, sem imitar.
Mas falou com uma... Você não, teve alguma coisa,
Mas
serenidade olímpica?
a serenidade eu lutei para ter, mas é que eu não dá esse texto. Todas as vezes que eu fui decorar, eu acho que se eu tivesse me preparado como atriz para chorar, eu não teria ficado tão incomodada. Eu fiquei incomodada. Chegou uma hora no texto que eu falei, gente, eu não vou conseguir falar.
Agora?
Teve uma hora que eu dei uma parada assim, que eu falei, será que eu paro?
Aquela hora que
Peço pra fazer de novo. Porque eu achei que eu já tava muito emocionada demais. Achei, vai ficar chato, vai ficar meloso isso. Eu teria que ensaiar muitas vezes num teatro para conseguir falar isso friamente. Ou, não que ela diga friamente, ela não fala isso friamente, mas estoicamente, olimpicamente, dessa maneira, eu teria que me preparar demais.
And that's the thing. All the stories, they're real stories, and you know that. And even when an actress is playing, you pay attention. And sometimes when you think there's an actress playing and is the real person, because sometimes you think that reality is fake. Because no one could do that, no one does that, but sometimes people do that. Another story. You see, Fernanda Torres is one famous Brazilian actress. When she appears, you're like, she's acting because she's good, so she's acting. And then you see her again, telling another story. And you're like, what? Is she telling two stories because she's good? What? And then you notice that the first story was hers, and now she's telling other story.
Eu tinha 11 anos quando isso aconteceu. 11 anos. Foi horrível, assim. Doido isso, né? Tão engraçado, gente. Vamos do início de novo? Queria uma água, é tão engraçado, nossa. Quero. Parece que eu tô mentindo pra você.
Você pensou em incluir alguma coisa no bruto ou no trecho?
Olha, isso ficou muito doido, porque eu nunca vi o material cortado, editado, né?
Você não viu o material editado?
Eu não quis ver o material editado. Eu podia até ter pedido, mas eu fiquei achando que... Aquilo que eu te falei, ela tinha tanta memória quando ela falava de algo, tinha tanta história, como toda pessoa, né? Que eu achei que o material bruto era a minha memória. A diferença é que com um personagem fictício, se você atinge um nível medíocre assim, você pode até ficar ali nele, porque ele é da sua medida. Com um personagem real, a realidade um pouco esfrega na sua cara onde você poderia estar e você não chegou. Tem alguém acabado na sua frente. O outro é em processo. E outras vezes, fazendo ficção, fazendo um personagem que não existe, você atinge um grau de realidade que aquela pessoa existe.
Okay. Moving on. Personal statement explaining why this selected admired. Why? This movie changed a lot of things that I had in mind. Because first of all, it showed me a whole universe of documentaries that I've never thought about. Before that, documentaries were just like Nat Geo or Discovery Channel and people talking about, look how the bear is walking and stuff like that. And it's really boring. And then when I saw that movie, I was like, what the hell is that? And then I was just like, opened at a whole universe of stuff. Like, it helped me thinking about directing and acting. Especially because when I saw that, I was working with actors, and sometimes you think, no, that's the person, you can see clearly that that person is acting, but sometimes the person is not. Sometimes the person is like that. So like, like when you're trying to shoot a movie and you're trying to direct something, you're not trying to go straight to realism, because sometimes realism is stranger than fiction. No, and that's like one thing that this movie talks about. The movie talks about lives, talks about reality, talks about acting, talks about people being people. And that's one thing that I like. For me, that movie is one of many that talk about how amazing real lives are and how amazing people are and how deep and complex and pretty real lives are. And if you want to tell the story, your life story is already something that you can share. And that's one first thing. And the second thing is the acting thing. Sometimes sometimes people say, no, acting is easy because you just be yourself and that's it. No, it's not. Because when you're acting for another media, sometimes it's just different. You need to play something that sometimes is not real. You need to play a character that seems and looks real, but sometimes it's just a physical thing. It's not, sometimes it's just not the reality. And my head is all over. Right? Okay. I've chosen this movie not just because it taught me a lot of things about acting and reality and like how to deal with actors, but also it showed me that the richest thing that you can have is your own life. All the experiences that you have, all the past experiences that you have, all the things that you lived, they worth something. They are for something. And you are the way you are because of the things you lived. And you can tell when someone talks about their lives, especially you can try to understand the person, not all of it, but you can fall in love with the person just listening to their stories, their life stories. You know, sometimes it's really interesting, sometimes it's boring, but people are different. People are like that, you know. And that's it. Yay, I drink to that. Wow, that was terrible.
Se essa rua fosse minha, não vou conseguir. Eu mandava ladrilhar com pedrinhas de brilhante para o meu amor passar. Nessa rua tem um bosque.
Nessa rua
que se chama solidão.
Que se chama solidão.
Dentro dele mora um anjo.
Dentro dele mora um anjo.
Que roubou meu coração.
Que roubou meu coração.
Se eu roubei teu coração.
Se eu roubei teu coração.
É porque te quero bem.
Te quero bem.
Se eu roubei teu coração,
Se eu roubei teu
é
coração.
porque tu roubaste o meu também.
É porque tu
essa é uma.
roubaste o meu também.